which is super handy. Despite falling off a 2-story play set, jumping off a trampoline, and falling down multiple flights of stairs, she has not broken any bones except her big toe. I have no doubt that you will fall in love with our next storyteller. Please help me warm up the stage for the mighty, unbreakable Maureen Elias.
Every morning I would pray for a communicable disease so that I would not have to go to high school. My high school sucked. Every day I had to walk what I called the gauntlet. "Oh my God, here comes Ugly!" cried the quarterback. "Ew, don't let her touch you, it might rub off on you," cried the receiver. "She must have hit every branch on her way down the ugly tree," cried some random football player. They made it their personal mission to let me know that I was unattractive. Life is hard enough when you're a teenager, right? I'm 5'8", I weigh 100 pounds dripping wet, and my red frizzy hair needs its own zip code because my mother has no idea what to do with curly hair. All my other sisters have beautiful silky straight brown hair. Cool. Top that off with the fact that we were poor, so I wasn't very fashionable. The only clothes that I had to wear were what I could afford with my babysitting money from the Goodwill. Not super trendy. But I was born with cleft lip and palate. And at this point in my life, I've had 12 surgeries starting at the age of 6 weeks old to repair those defects. Very painful surgeries. And I didn't feel very attractive. My nose went all the way across my cheek. And despite the fact that I'd had braces for 7 years, my teeth were still horribly crooked. My mom would say things that all moms say, like, "Of course we think you're beautiful." And then she would follow it up with, "But if you want someone to date you, you're gonna have to really work on your personality." So I did, and I actually had a boyfriend. We've been going steady for about a year. But the one thing that I craved, that most children with this birth defect crave, is that final surgery, the rhinoplasty, the nose surgery, so that I would look just like everyone else. I just wanted to look normal. To me, the story of the ugly duckling was the story of my life. I dreamed about it. Over the summer, I'd have the surgery, I'd be all healed up, and I'd come into school, and the boys would be like, "Ooh, who's that?" And the girls would be like, "Oh my God, we want her in our popular girls club." That was the dream. So, they won't do a rhinoplasty until your face is about done growing. So, I'm 15 years old, I'm about to turn 16, it's just about time for the surgery. And my parents divorced, which meant we no longer had health insurance. Woo! My surgery was postponed. But there was a program for needy families with kids that had cleft lip and palate. There was a whole board of doctors that came together, and if you passed the board, they would pay for that surgery. So my mom and I jumped through all of these hoops. I had to go stand before the board and plead for them to fix my face. And I got approved, and I was so excited. My dream was gonna happen. And on my 16th birthday, my mom falls in love with this tall, dark, insured man. And they say, "I'm so sorry, he's got insurance, you're kicked out of the program." My surgery is postponed again. And I'm so mad at my mom, and I shout at her, "How could you do this? You couldn't just wait 2 more months to have sex with this man, come on!" "It's fine, honey, he has insurance." But back then, if you had a pre-existing condition, you had to wait 12 months before they would do anything to help you. And so my surgery was postponed again. So my dream of coming into senior year gorgeous was gone, period. So I go into senior year, I survive the gauntlet some more, and my dream pivots a little. The surgery is gonna come 12 months after my parents married. So I envision it again, senior prom. I'm gonna have my surgery, my face will be so much better. I'm gonna have this gorgeous gown, and I'm gonna have this wonderful man who loves me to death on my arm, and I'm gonna figure out what to do with this hair. somehow, magically. So I have the surgery, and I'm so excited. I've seen the movies, right? 2 or 3 days after the surgery, they unwrap the gauze from your face, and I know I'll be looking in a mirror and I'll have like a nose that would make Jennifer Aniston cry, and a face that would be perfect and beautiful. The reality was, they took 6.5 inches of bone marrow out of my left hip to give me a hard palate. They took cartilage from behind both of my ears to give me a nose. So, because of how severe the surgery was, they had my mom cover all the mirrors in the house, so I really don't know what I look like for about a month after surgery. But I have an idea, because my friends would come over and be like, "Hi, Maureen, oh my gosh," because I looked hideous. And I know I do, because my mom has since shown me the pictures. I had these giant raccoon eyes, I had a cast on my nose, I had a huge gap of bone from where they put my palate in, and 28 stitches in my upper lip. It was not a prizzy, like think Quasimodo, but worse. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, my face is super messed up, right? They finally bring me to the doctor, they take off the cast, and I look in the mirror, and I still have like patchy yellow and purple eyes, and I have these giant zits on my nose from where the cast was, and I'm like, I'm gonna look awful for prom. My dream is dying, but I have a date, so like at least I have my boyfriend, right? And then we break up. Because why, right? Cool, so I'm lamenting to my mom, because I hadn't been able to babysit because surgery took so long to recover from. I have no money for a dress. I have no date. I have no life. I'm not going to go to prom. I'm never going to fall in love. I'm never going to get married. I'm going to end up an old lady with cats that are going to eat my face as soon as I die. This isn't what I wanted. I mope around the house for about a week. And then I get a call from my ex-boyfriend's best friend, Dean. Hey, Maureen, I know how much you wanted to go to prom. How about I take you? Now, Dean and I have no romantic feelings towards each other. So I know that if I say yes, we're just gonna have a great time. And I'm like, well, face is messed up, but I've got a date. That's step one. You want me to wear tails? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so he's gonna get a tux. Now I need to get a dress, and fast. I don't have any money. What do? My stepmom says, you can wear anything in my closet, sweetie. As I'm looking through the sea of matronly floral dresses, this is not going to work. And I start to sink low. And then in the very back of her closet, I see this tiny linen cream sleeve. And I'm like, what's that? So I pull it out and I gasp. It's this beautiful, simple, empire-waisted, linen over satin gown. Just goes straight to the floor. Now, when you're a string bean like me and you hardly have any boobs at all, this dress was very flattering. So I tried it on and it fit perfectly. I looked beautiful in this dress. So I've got the guy, I've got the dress. Now I gotta figure out what to do with everything else. So my mom teaches me how to put makeup on to cover the bruises, and then someone teaches me about flat ironing my hair, and the whole world changes. So it's the night of prom, my flat ironed hair, makeup on, beautiful dress, and I'm at the top of the stairs and Dean comes to the door to pick me up. And he looks up at me at the top of the stairs, that moment that every movie has, and his jaw hits the floor. And I know I look good. My dream is coming true. So he takes me to the prom. We're walking up the stairs of the hall, and all of a sudden, I hear all these, oh my gosh, who is that? You see, Dean didn't go to my high school, so these girls have never seen him before. And he looked just like Robert Pattinson without the sparkly makeup and the fangs. Right? He was hot. He had that Leonardo DiCaprio blonde haircut, and he had a smile that would tear the brakes out of a car. So these girls are tittering and whispering, oh my gosh, he's so cute. Who is he? I haven't seen him before. Oh my gosh, if she leaves him alone for 1 minute, I'm gonna go smack him. He gives me this wicked grin, and he says, let's make him talk. So he whirls me around the dance floor, looking lovingly into my eyes, whispering things into my ear, and convincing everyone on that dance floor that this man is madly in love with me, and I him. The very next day, one of the football players even asks me out. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have a no a-hole rule. We're not going to be able to make this work. And that no a-hole dating rule has worked very well for me. I've been happily married for 23 years. And even as my ladies start to point south, and my girth gets a little wider, every time he looks at me, I feel like that girl at the top of the stairs, 16 years old on the night of senior prom.